starts with the Om at the top. Then below that Om is a word V, and below that V is, BMI, which stands for body, mind, and intellect. Below that is PFT, which stands for perceiver at the level of the body, feeler at the level of the mind, and thinker at the level of the intellect. And below that, you will find O, which is, perceiver of objects with the body. Feeler, E stands for feeler of emotions at the level of the mind. And T, which is the thinker of thoughts at the level of the intellect. So this perceiver, feeler, thinker entity is what we call as the ego. That is I, when I say. And the V stands for vasanas, which are our inherent tendencies. We are all born with certain inherent tendencies. And based on those inherent tendencies, we have our likes and dislikes. And it is this perceiver, feeler, thinker entity that says, I want this, I don't want this, I like this, I don't like this. But this perceiver, feeler, thinker entity cannot function without that Om at the top. That is that divine life spark, that infinite conscious principle that is functioning through the body, mind, and intellect. But this divine light spark gets filtered through the layer of our inherent tendencies and gives us our unique personalities that we have as the body, mind, and intellect. And when that layer of vasanas or inherent tendencies is removed, what functions through this instrument of body, mind, and intellect is that divine supreme. So that is really what we want. We want to become that instrument of the divine. Use this body, mind, and intellect wherever we are. It does not, I may be placed. That is why in our literature, we have King Janaka, who knew who he was. He was very clear about his identity, but lived the life of a king. If that is where life has placed you, you have to live beautifully there and perform as an instrument of the divine if you are the king. Wherever life, if you are Shabri, you are that poor, lady in the ashram of a rishi. You work and serve as the instrument of the divine. Doesn't matter where life places you, but when you remove all those inherent tendencies, you will become the instrument.
Does
that help, Neera?
Yes, yes. Very much.
Yeah, it is, it takes a little thinking, but I think Swamiji...
Okay. Meena?
Yes, Bhuma?
Mind, intellectual, and the soul. So how you can make this fine difference in that?
Between the mind and intellect?
Intellectual and the soul.
And the soul. Soul, a soul is, often people talk about the mind intellect entity. That is the one that is born again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the mind and intellect together. But what is Atma? Atma and Paramatma. As long as this Atma, as long as the divine is functioning through the mind, intellect, and body, that is Atma. But it is really this, for example, say the sun is shining in the sky, okay? And it is a beautiful, clear day, and I have a bucket filled with water outside. What will happen in that bucket? The sun will shine in that bucket? right? That is the reflection of the sun. So
Yeah.
now remember, this is an analogy. So analogy can go only so far. So that reflection of the sun, we can take it as Atma. Okay? That reflected consciousness in the mind and intellect. What happens when all the water dries up? What happened to that sun? Was it there or was it not there in the bucket?
Yeah.
So that our sun became, it was the sun. So that Atma is Paramatma only. But as long as it is in that little instrument of the body, mind, and intellect, it is an Atma. But the soul that we say, which is born again and again, is the mind and intellect, which has the impressions.
Was the Atma also born again and again?
Atma is not born. Atma and Paramatma is same. Atma is that conscious principle. We use it loosely. We say, no, Atma ego pacho, right?
Yes.
We use it loosely, but Atma and Paramatma are one. So that cannot be born. Ajo, Nitya, that is not born. That is always there. Conscious principle, if it is all pervading, which is everywhere, how can it be born? What is born is the mind and intellect. But because it is the one that reflects the consciousness, we use the term K, that is the Atma. We use it, no doubt. We use it.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes. Yeah. But it is still complex. It really takes time to really. It's not that okay. I understood. No, it's really.
You have to think about it. You know, Swamiji used to give a beautiful example, and that was of electricity. Electricity functioning in different, it is the heater, it is the heat in the heater, it is coolness in the air conditioner, coolness in the refrigerator, heat in the stove, brilliance in the light bulb, and motion in the fan. Which one of that is electricity?
Yeah.
All of it is an expression of electricity, but electricity is other than all that. Right? Similarly, that conscious principle is functioning through all of us, and electricity is the same, no matter which instrument it is in.
Yeah. That's
right? Right? So that same Atma is in, that Paramatma is in all of us. And when it is in me, if you want to call it heater, and in you it is the cooler. In somebody else, it is the brilliance. In someone else, and then you say, no, that Atma has come back. But that Atma which has come back is, we see it come back because that electricity is there.
Yeah, or the intellectual and the mind.
Mind intellect entity.
Okay. Yeah.
It is the mind intellect entity.
But you mean abstract in the sense that it does not have any memories or anything?
It does. Mind intellect does carry the memories. That is why people have memories of previous lives. You will, in India, you will hear of many cases. A friend of mine in Ghatkopar, Bhunesh, I don't know if that Uday cinema is still there, Bhunesh.
Uday, I don't know.
Okay, anyway, she used to live right across from that cinema, and she was 4 years old, and her father was away, and her mother scolded her because she was, not behaving herself. So Anila said to her mother, she said, I'm going to Delhi. So she said, why are you going to Delhi? And where in Delhi will you go? She said, I will go to Sadar Bazaar. I have my son there who is running my crockery shop.
Sorry, Meena, the connection was, I'm going to Delhi too?
To my son.
Oh.
My son has a crockery shop, and so her mother said, yeah. She said, yeah, my son has the shop. She asked for the address. Anila gave the full address. And then she said, so what is the name of your son? She gave the name of her son, name of her daughter-in-law, and names of her grandchildren. So when her father came back, Anila's mother told her father that, Anila was behaving strangely. This is what she told us. So her father said that, next month I have to go to Delhi for some office work. When I go there, I will check whether there is a place like this and if there is any truth to what Anila has been saying. And, every single name that Anila gave were true. The name of her daughter-in-law, the name of her grandchildren, the name of her son, the name of the crockery shop, and the address of the shop. They were all just, then they called in some priest and, they did some rituals to make her forget everything. Because most of the times we don't remember this because it creates a confusion with identity, which is my true identity. Am I that, grandmother, or am I this child? So that memory of identity gets erased, but memory of, say you have a strong musical talent, those are the prodigies that are born. They are, born with, so many are born with already knowledge of so many slokas and of the Vedas. There was one child who was brought to Swamiji. Before they brought her to Swamiji, they used to live somewhere in Bombay. And the neighbors came to hand over the keys, saying that if our children come from school, please let them into the apartment. We are going to the lectures of Gita Bharti. The minute this 3-year-old girl heard Gita Bharti, she made she created a scene. I want to go to the lectures of Gita Bharti. Now, this was a Sindhi family where they had no idea or any of these scriptures, so they didn't, go to lectures or anything like that. But she created such a scene that the neighbor said, let her come with us. She, we will make sure she sits quietly in the lectures. So they took her to the lectures. And the minute Gita Bharti started chanting the slokas and mantras from the Vedas, this girl was chanting it with them. How can that happen? It has to be a memory of the past. And so they brought this girl to Swamiji, but the family didn't speak English. They had no idea. So Swamiji had suggested some other Swamis where this girl would get more of this, which was already in her life, and she would progress in this direction. So people are born. Those are the memories we do carry with us. Now, I don't know, how much truth we can give to this particular one. Ba used to believe that China was Daman Faiba.
Who was she?
Ba had a daughter. We used to call her Daman Faiba. And Ba strongly believed that China was Daman Faiba. Daman Faiba had crocheted a beautiful blouse, and that was lying in our house in Sion. And one day, China was very young, but she told Ba, but this is mine, I'm taking it. Then there was a Shiva that Daman Faiba used to worship. And China went and told Ba, she said, but this is my Shivling, I'm taking it. So there were a few things like that of Daman Faiba that China would insist on. So Ba was convinced that China was Daman Faiba.
Yes, my mom told me this because mummy told me, Meena, this story. Because even she tried to test China, she put other better cloth in front of the China, and then she asked China, no, this is better China, this is more beautiful, this is old one, and this is not good looking or something. But China always pick up the Daman Faiba's clothes.
Yeah.
This was my mother told me this, mummy.
Yeah. So there are memories people have, but so the whole purpose is as long as those memories are there, we will not become instruments of the divine. All those memories have to be erased. And then one can choose to come back, like Buddha. Buddha, he took it, he said that I will come. Coming back is not the problem. The problem is not knowing our true identity, that who we are. And Buddha chose to come back again and again to relieve the suffering of people.
Okay.
પૂર્વજન્મની વાત કરી.
હા, પૂર્વજન્મની વાત કરી લાબેન.
સાંભળ્યું? અરે વાહ. મજા આવી. એટલે તું બિલીવ કરે છે?
હું બિલીવ કરું છું ઈલાબેન.
હું બી માનું છું ખરેખર.
આ વસ્તુ છે ને મીનાબેન, આપણે ગીતાના 15 ચેપ્ટરમાં કહી છે ને?
હા.
હા, આઈ થિંક શ્લોક 8th 9th શરીરમ યદ્વાપ્નોતિ ક્રામતીશ્વર વિદ્વૈતાની સંયાતિ વાયુર્ગંધા નિવાસાત. યસ, એ શ્લોક એ અને એના પછીનો છે.
શ્રોત્રમ ચક્ષુસ્પર્શનમ ચ
સ્પર્શનમ ચ રસનમ ઘ્રાણમેવ ચ રસનમ ઘ્રાણમેવ ચ અરિષ્ટાય મનશ્ચ વિષયાનુપસ. યસ, એમાં કઈ છે વાત? તમે જે વસ્તુ કીધી ને કે કેરી ફોરવર્ડ થાય છે.
The memory થાય છે carry forward, definitely. Okay, so we say our concluding prayers. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you, Meena.
Thank you. Next Saturday, we may be going to Toronto. And if we go to Toronto, we will be taking an early morning flight. Then I will not be able to connect at this time. But after we go to Toronto, we will be there for 2 weeks. But if everybody is okay, I will be able to take class on Saturday. I think Boxing Day is Saturday, if I'm correct, 26th. And the day after that, next week will be the 2nd. So just checking with all of you.
So just put the message in a group, Meena. One day before.
19th is Saturday. 19th, let us say we won't have. But after that,
26th we will have.
is everybody okay for Boxing Day and the first week in New Year? That
Absolutely. No problem.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So that will be fine. I can do it from Toronto.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bune. Bye. And
Okay,
have a
thank
nice
you.
weekend. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
weekend.
Nice weekend.
Yes.
Have a
Thank
safe
you,
and
ma'am.
nice weekend.
Yeah.
Bye to all. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
All right.